everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute baby romper. So this romper can be made in a number of different sizes, and for all of the information on how to make the different sizes, please see the description box below. So thank you very much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos. So to begin your romper, you want to start off by making a slip knot. So to do a slip knot, take your yarn and take your finger and wrap the yarn around your finger once and then twice. Then take the first loop and pull it over the second loop, and then take the second loop and pull it all the way over your finger. You then want to take your crochet hook, so take your hook, go in through this space and pull tight, and there you have a slip knot. So now once you have your slip knot, we are now going to make our foundation chain, and for our foundation chain we are going to chain 11. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 11. So there I have my foundation chain, and we are now ready to move on to round 1 of our romper. So we are now on to round 1 of the romper, and this round is just a simple round of half double crochet. So we're just going to do 1 half double crochet into every single chain along our foundation chain, and we're going to work our first half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So here we have the first chain from the hook, and here is the second, and into this chain we're going to do our first half double crochet. So to do a half double crochet, yarn over and go down into this chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So there we have 1 half double crochet. Now yarn over and go down into the next chain and do the same thing into this one, 1 half double crochet, then do 1 into the next chain and 1 into the next, and just continue this all the way along for round 1, 1 half double crochet into every single chain. So I have finished working that all the way along for round 1, and this is what I have. And now we are ready to move on to round 2 of our romper. So we are now on to round 2, and to begin this round, chain 1 and turn. And this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So now to start off, we're going to go down into this very first stitch here and work 2 half double crochets. So yarn over and go down into the first stitch of the round and do 1 half double crochet, and then yarn over and go back down into the same stitch again, so down into that first stitch, and work a second half double crochet. So there we have 2 half double crochets both into the first stitch, and now we're going to do 1 half double crochet into every single stitch along up until the very last stitch of the round. So you want to do 1 half double crochet into every stitch, but stop just before this last stitch of the round. So yarn over and go into the next stitch and do 1 half double crochet, then do 1 half double crochet into the next one, and continue this all the way along up until the last stitch. So I have worked those half double crochets, and as you can see I have one last stitch here to work in at the end. So I have stopped before the very last stitch, and then into this final stitch we're going to do 2 half double crochets. So for this round we're doing 2 half double crochets into the first stitch of the round, 1 half double crochet into every single stitch, and then 2 half double crochets into the very last stitch of the round. So yarn over and go down into this last stitch, and you want to make sure that you are going down into this last half double crochet and not the little chain one. So this little chain one here we skipped when we worked into the second chain from the hook at the beginning of round 1, and that chain one does not count as a stitch, so make sure that you're not going down into this chain one, that you're going into the very last half double crochet and work 1 half double crochet, and then yarn over and go back down into the same stitch again for a second time and do a second half double crochet. And there we have finished round 2, and we are ready to move on to round 3. We are now on to round 3 of our romper, and for the next 7 rounds, so for rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, so 7 rounds, we are just going to repeat round 2. So we're going to do 7 repeats of the round that we just did, round 2. So to begin each round, you want to chain 1 and turn, and the chain 1 never counts as a stitch. You then want to do 2 half double crochets, both into the very first stitch of the round. And then you want to do 1 half double crochet into every single stitch along, but stop before the very last stitch of the round. So you should stop when you have 1 stitch left to go into, and then into that last stitch do 2 half double crochets into that one as well. So we're doing 2 half double crochets into the first and last stitch of the round, and 1 half double crochet into each stitch between. And we're going to repeat that round 7 times. So for rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, you just want to repeat round 2. So we're going to move on to round 3, which is our first repeat of round 2. So chain 1 and turn, and this chain 1 never counts as a stitch. And now we're going to go down into this very first stitch here and do 2 half double crochets. So yarn over, go down into the stitch and do 1, and then do a second half double crochet back down into that stitch, and now do 1 half double crochet into the next one, and 1 half double crochet into the next. And do this all the way along up until the very last stitch of the round. So you want to stop here before the very last stitch. So I have worked those half double crochets, and I have 1 last stitch to work into. And as I said before, you need to make sure that you are not counting this little chain 1 here as a stitch. Make sure you're stopping before this last half double crochet, and then we're going to yarn over, go down into this stitch and do 2 half double crochets. So there we have finished our first repeat, round 3, and you should find that with each round you do, your work gets bigger and bigger, so it should go out this way. So just keep repeating that until you come to the end of round 9. So I have just finished working those rounds. So I have come to the end of round 9. And now we are ready to move on to round 10. So we are now on to round 10 of our romper. And to begin this round, you want to chain 1 and turn. And this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So now round 10 is just a very simple round of half double crochet. So we're just going to do 1 half double crochet into every single stitch along. So start off by yarning over and going down into this first stitch here and doing 1 half double crochet. Then do 1 into the next stitch and 1 into the next. And continue this all the way along, 1 half double crochet into every single stitch. So I am coming to the end of round 10, so I'm just going to continue to work half double crochets, 1 into each stitch right up to the very end of the round, like that. And at the end of round 10, you should find that you have 26 half double crochets across. So you should have worked 26 half double crochets in round 10. And now we are ready to move on to round 11. So we are now on to round 11 of our baby romper. And for the next 7 rounds, so for rounds 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17, so 7 rounds, we are just going to repeat the round that we just did, round 10. So for 7 rounds, rounds 11 through to 17, we're just going to chain 1 and turn, then do 1 half double crochet into each stitch along. And in each round, you should have 26 half double crochets. So just keep repeating round 10 7 times. So I'm going to move on to round 11, which is my first repeat of round 10. So chain 1 and turn. And this chain 1 never counts as a stitch. And then yarn over and go down into this very first stitch here and do 1 half double crochet. Then do 1 into the next stitch and 1 into the next. And continue this all the way along. And then when you get to the end of the round, repeat that again. Chain 1 and turn and do 1 half double crochet back up into each stitch and keep repeating that until you come to the end of round 17. So I have just finished working those rounds, so I have come to the end of round 17, and this is what you should have. And now at this point we are going to fasten off. So pull your yarn out and your hook and then cut your yarn, leaving a tail to weave in or work over later. So cut your yarn. And now we are ready to move on to round 18. So we are now on to round 18 of our romper, and we have just fastened off at the end of round 17. And now what you want to do is to begin this round, turn your work over. So we have fastened off and now turn your work over and then go to the very end here, and we are going to count 4 stitches in. So count 1, 2, 3 and 4. So count 4 stitches in from the end and insert your hook into this stitch. So insert it into the 4th stitch along, then take your yarn again. So I am taking my pink yarn. I'm not changing colours, but I suppose you could if you wanted to. And then take your yarn, place it over the end of your crochet hook and pull it through. And then chain 1. So chain 1. So there we have fastened our yarn back onto our work, and you should find that you have skipped 3 stitches here at the end. And now we are ready to move on with the rest of round 18. So to begin this round, we're going to start off by working a stitch called 2 half double crochets together. So when we do 2 half double crochets together, we are doing 2 half double crochets, 1 into each stitch, but we are not completing either of them, and then we're going to complete both of the half double crochets together at the same time. So we are effectively turning 2 stitches into 1. So you want to start off by yarning over and going down into this very first stitch. So this is the same stitch that you just attached your yarn into, and then yarn over and pull up a loop. But usually we would yarn over and pull through these 3 loops to complete the stitch, to complete the half double crochet. But you do not want to do that. You want to stop here and move on to the next one. So yarn over, go into the next stitch and yarn over and pull up a loop. So there you should have 5 loops on your hook, and we have 2 incomplete half double crochets, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops to complete the stitch. So there we have done 2 half double crochets together, and we have turned 2 stitches into 1. And now for the rest of round 18, we're just going to do 1 half double crochet into every single stitch along up until 5 stitches from the end. So you want to stop 5 stitches from the end. So yarn over and go into the next stitch and do 1 half double crochet, then do 1 into the next stitch and 1 into the next, and continue this all the way along up until 5 stitches from the end. So I have finished working those half double crochets, and I have 5 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, you must not count the little chain 1 as a stitch. So I have 5 actual half double crochets left. And now to finish off round 18, we're going to do another set of 2 half double crochets together. So yarn over and go down into this first stitch here and pull up a loop, but stop here, do not complete this half double crochet, and move on to the next one. Yarn over and go into the next stitch and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. So there we have finished round 18, and you should find that you have 3 stitches not worked into on this end and 3 stitches not worked into on this end. And now we're ready to move on to round 19. So to begin round 19, chain 1 and turn, and this chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So now to begin this round, we're going to do 2 half double crochets together. So the same stitch we did twice last round, we are going to start off by doing that same stitch again to begin round 19. So yarn over and go down into this very first stitch here and pull up a loop, then yarn over and go into the next stitch and pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on your hook. So there we have 2 half double crochets together, and now you want to do 1 half double crochet into every single stitch along up until 2 stitches from the end. So work half double crochets and stop 2 stitches from the end. So yarn over and go into the next stitch and do 1 half double crochet, do 1 into the next, and do this all the way along. So I have finished working that all the way along for round 19, and I have stopped 2 stitches from the end, and it's really important that you don't count the little chain 1 that we did at the beginning of round 18 as a stitch. So it may be easier to kind of turn your work over to see where your last 2 stitches are. This is the chain 1, so do not count this as a stitch. These are the last 2 stitches. And we're going to finish off by working 2 half double crochets together. So finish off round 19 by working another set of 2 half double crochets together, like that. And now we are ready to move on to round 20. So we are now on to round 20, and to begin this round, chain 1 and turn. And this chain 1 never counts as a stitch. And now round 20 is just the exact same thing as round 19, so the round that we just did. So we're going to start off by working 1 set of 2 half double crochets together. So do 2 half double crochets together like that. And now do 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and 1 into the next, and do this into every single stitch up until 2 stitches from the end. So I have worked those half double crochets and I have 2 stitches left, and I'm going to finish off by doing my last set of 2 half double crochets together over these last 2 stitches, like that. So there we have finished round 20, and now we're ready to move on to round 21. So we are now on to round 21 of our baby romper, and the next 4 rounds, so for rounds 21, 22, 23 and 24 are very simple. We're just going to do 1 half double crochet into every single stitch. So for round 21, chain 1 and turn, and do 1 half double crochet into each stitch. Then do the same thing for round 22, chain 1 and turn, and do 1 half double crochet into each stitch. Then do the same thing for round 23, and then the same thing for round 24. So we're just doing 4 rounds of plain half double crochet. So to begin each round, chain 1 and turn, and do 1 half double crochet into the first stitch, 1 into the next, and do this all the way along to the very end, and then repeat that round 3 more times or 4 times in total. So I have finished working those rounds, so I have come to the end of round 24, and this is what you should have, and you should see that your romper shape is really coming along. So this is the front of our romper, almost finished. The last thing that we just need to do is add these straps. So we're going to move on to our very first strap. So we're going to do this one first, finish it off, and then do the next strap in the exact same way. So the straps are very simple. You want to start off by chaining 1 and turning, and then we're going to do 2 half double crochets. So yarn over and go down into the first stitch and do 1 half double crochet, then do 1 into the next stitch. So we have 2 half double crochets, and if you want thicker straps you could do more half double crochets, but we will have a border that goes up along the side and around the straps, which makes it quite a bit thicker. So even if they seem a bit thin at the moment, don't worry, once we add the border they will get a lot thicker. And then for round 2 of the straps, chain 1 and turn, and then do 2 half double crochets again, 1 into each stitch, so like that. And then we're just going to keep repeating that round 2. So chain 1 and turn, and then do 2 half double crochets, 1 into each stitch, until your straps are 26 rounds long, or 26 rows long. So just keep repeating that round until your straps are 26 rounds long. So we have 2 rounds here, so we will need to do that 24 times. So I have finished working that strap, so I have done 26 rounds in total, and this is what you should have. And if you want longer straps, you can just add more rounds, or if you don't want them as long, just take a few rounds off. But you do want them quite long as they cross over at the back, and then the back of the romper is quite low down, so they need to come down quite far. So I would say 26 rounds is perfect. And then once you have done that, we are just going to quickly add our button loop onto this strap. So to do that, you want to chain 5. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, then turn your work over and go down into this last stitch of the strap here on the opposite side of the round, go into this stitch and work a slip stitch like that. And then you can fasten off, so pull your yarn out and your hook, and we have a little button loop. And then when we work into this space, when we do our border, you will get a nice secure loop like that. So fasten off, and now we're ready to move on to our other strap. Our other strap is going to be worked in the exact same way as this one here. You want to take your work like this, and then go to the very end and count in 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. Then insert your hook into this stitch, so 2 stitches in. Take your new yarn, place it over the end of your hook, pull it through, and then chain 1. So chain 1. And then we're going to do 2 half double crochets. So go down into the stitch that you just attached your yarn into, and do 1 half double crochet, and then do 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. And then just keep repeating rounds of half double crochet, chain 1 and turn half double crochets until you have the exact same number of rounds as the other strap. And then you want to finish off by doing your button loop in the exact same way. And then once you have done that, fasten off, and we will have completed the front of our romper, and we are ready to move on to the back. I have just finished making my other strap, and this is what I have. So I have made my other strap with the chain 5 at the top, and then I have done a slip stitch and fastened off. And there we have finished the front of our romper. So this is the front complete, and now we are ready to move on to the back. So for the back of our romper, this is what you want to make. So this is what your back should look like. And for the back, you want to do the exact same thing as we did for the front. So start off with a slip knot, then chain 11, and then you want to do rounds 1 through to 17. So you want to do round 17 the exact same as we did for the front. And then just like we did for the front, fasten off at the end of round 17. So do rounds 1 through to 17 the exact same as the front, and fasten off at the end of round 17. And then this is what you should have. And that is the back of our romper completed. So once you have done that, you should have two pieces, the front and the back. And then to finish off our romper, we need to join these two pieces and then add our border. And I will show you how to do that now. So to begin joining, you want to start off by lining up your work. So lay your front and back on top of each other and line them up perfectly. So make sure that they are all lined up exactly. And we're going to join our work in 3 places. We're going to join along the bottom here, then up along the side on the right here, and then up along the side on the left. So we're going to join our work in 3 places. And to do that, we are going to use the same method to join in all 3 places. So I'll show you how to do one place, and then you can just go ahead and do the other 2 places in the exact same way. So I would recommend starting off by joining the bottom. And you can either take a long piece of yarn in the same colour, or if you left a pretty long end when you made your slip knot at the beginning, so on either the front or the back, you can actually use that end to join your work. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take a yarn needle and then I'm going to take my end. But if you just have a little short end here, then just take a longer piece of yarn and thread your end through your needle. And then you want to go ahead and take both pieces and line them up perfectly. So I have lined up all of my stitches and then thread my end through the needle. And now we're going to come around here and go through to the opposite side and go through both stitches. So insert your hook through both of the front stitches and pull your yarn through, and we are going to join using the whip stitch. And with the whip stitch, you always come back around to the same side. So come back around to this side, go through the next stitch and through both sides, both the front and back, and pull your yarn through. Then you want to come back around to this side. So you always go through the same side and go through both stitches and pull your yarn through. Then come back around to this side again and go through both sides. And just continue to do this all the way along to join up the bottom. So do the whip stitch all the way along. So you always come back around to this side, go through both stitches and through. So we're doing this all the way along. So I have finished working the whip stitch all the way along, and I have joined the bottom of my romper. And if you like, instead of joining the bottom, you could add a couple of buttons or popper snaps here if you want the bottom to be open, but I have joined mine. And now what we're going to do is we're going to join the sides of our romper in the exact same way. So you want to line your stitches up perfectly, and we're going to join up the side here, so up the flat bit of the side. So that is from round 10 to round 17. So the rounds where we just did 1/2 double crochet into every single stitch. You do not want to join along these rounds, so where we kind of come at an angle here, this is where the legs are going to come out of. So you just want to join the front and the back along the flat sides, so from rounds 10 to 17. So if you like, you could count your rounds, so count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you can see this is where you need to start joining and join all the way up to the top of the back. So do that on the right side using the whip stitch. So use a yarn needle and then a long piece of yarn and join doing the whip stitch, and then do the exact same thing on the left side, join from rounds 10 to 17 along the flat side. And then once you have done that, this is what you should have. So you should have your romper joined along the sides and the bottom. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we are going to work our border. So the border is very simple. We are just going to do a simple single crochet border around each of the leg holes and then all the way around the top and the back. So to start the border, you want to start off doing this top section here, and you want to use a smaller crochet hook. So for my romper, I used a 5mm hook, but for the border, I went down and used a 4mm crochet hook. So go down one size in crochet hook and start off by attaching your yarn somewhere along the back, it doesn't matter where, and then work one single crochet into every single stitch along the back. So go all the way along the back, and then when you get to the front, just come up along the front and do one single crochet into the side of each stitch. Then go up the side of the straps, continuing to work one single crochet into the side of each stitch, and you will be working into the side of the stitches or the side of the rows here. So just work your single crochets evenly. Go all the way around to the top of the strap, and then when you get to the loop here, the button loop, go into the chain space, so into the chain 5 space, and do 5 single crochets. So do 5 single crochets into this loop here. So into this loop you will do 5 single crochets, then continue to work single crochets down evenly all the way around the top of the front, back up the next strap and down, then do 5 single crochets into the next loop, continue your single crochets all the way around until you meet where you started, and then finish off by doing a slip stitch into the first single crochet and fasten off. And there you will have done your border for the back. And then you want to do the same thing around each of the leg holes. Just do one single crochet into each stitch around the leg holes and finish off with a slip stitch. And then you can go ahead and fasten 2 little buttons wherever you like. So you could put them quite far down, or you could go quite high up like I have done. So I just use these cute little teddy buttons. And then you want to weave all of your ends into the inside of your romper, and we have finished. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it easy to follow. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos, and in the description box below this video I will leave a link to my Twitter account. So if you would like to go and follow me on there, I would love to see photos of your crochet work, and I always like to post updates of upcoming tutorials on Twitter as well. And in the description box I will also leave a link to where you can find some of my written patterns if you are interested. And thank you again for watching. Bye!